Now, this sounds a bit like a plot from a Midsummer Murder, actually, but it is a true story. Clairvoyant Jayne Braiden, she drew the devil card during one of her readings, but even she couldn't have foreseen what was about to happen, despite her powers.
She ended up in danger, grave danger, when the man sat in front of her suddenly confessed to a murder, and she's now here to relive the dramatic events. So, very good to see you. Did you not see this coming as a clairvoyant?
Never heard that before.
Right. So this guy came into the room.
He did.
And did you sense anything at all right from the start?
He was tense, but quite often when people come into my shop, they are. So I didn't foresee what was coming, particularly at that point, until the cards came out. And I dealt 10 cards, and I could see that there was problems. By the time we got to the devil card, he broke down in tears and confessed to me that he'd murdered someone. And,
oh gosh, I mean, I just can't imagine that happening, but did you believe him at that point?
Absolutely, 100%.
Why?
Because the last 4 cards was justice, the judge and prison.
And did you turn those cards after he'd said, I've murdered somebody?
No, they were all there in front of me, but I was looking at the whole lot. So we were reading the first 3, but I'm already on the last one.
In your mind?
Oh, yeah, I'm
before
already...
Before you turn them?
They're all turned over,
right.
But I'm reading his here, but it's still his cards, but I'm looking at the end result. It's the end result that he was going to go to prison for a long time.
So which card, I'm looking at some cards here, but which card, when you turned it, made him burst into tears and break down?
The devil card, this one at this end.
This end on the right?
Yeah.
With the wings?
With the wings, yeah, that's the devil. Playing games and tricks.
OK, so as soon as and you say, this is the devil card, what did he do?
He just burst out. He just said, yes, I've killed someone.
Okay. So that's a big responsibility for you. I mean, it's not... I mean, by your own admission, I'm sure you would say that the cards aren't always right.
Absolutely.
As well. How did you handle what he's saying to you?
I had to keep everything calm. I believed him straight away.
And were you worried for your own safety?
No. No, I knew that he wasn't a threat to me. I just knew that. And I knew that I had to deal with it. And we talked a little bit, and then I asked him if it was OK if I called the police.
Gosh, very brave.
And he said yes. He said yes, fine. Yeah.
I think most people would have said, that's fine, off you go home, and then run to the phone.
So what did he do when you said, I'll go? You left him while you rang the police?
I left him in the shop. And went outside. My phone doesn't work in my shop, so I didn't want to make the call in front of him. I would have felt maybe a bit strange about that. So I went outside, made the 999 call, explained that I was a tarot reader on Madeira Drive, and that I've got a man in my shop's confessed to murder, and I believe him, and I'd like the police to come.
And what was their reaction at that point?
I need to call the non-emergency police.
What?
Yeah, I refused.
It's a murder. That'll be a non-emergency then.
Yeah,
we'll get back to you sometime in the next...
Was it the word tarot card reader that you think?
Absolutely. In hindsight, if I'd have said, you know, I'm a bartender...
I'm just a member of the public,
Yeah, and I've heard this conversation, that's exactly right. Then I think that maybe they would have listened and believed me.
How long before they came?
55 minutes, because I was put on a low priority call. I'd actually gave her the address where the body was as well at that point.
So he told you all that?
Yes, so I gave them the address where the body was. At that point, I didn't know that the body had been there for 10 days.
Oh, my gosh.
So in my mind, I'm thinking, this should be tagged so that maybe paramedics... He could still be alive.
Yeah.
You know.
What did you do in those 55 minutes? Did you go back in with this man?
Yes, yeah. I bought him a drink. We sat and we were talking for a bit, and I thought maybe the police would be 10, 15 minutes, so... you know, I thought, well, OK, we'll chat for a bit.
And then did you talk to him about this murder?
Yeah, little bits. And then I thought, well, actually, what I need to do now is actually write this down. So I asked him again if it was OK. I said, look, I'll make it easier for when the police come, that I go to the back. So I got a pen and paper and was asking him questions. When he was getting upset, I would back off and talk about something silly.
And asking him questions in terms of kind of like evidence, saying what happened,
Absolutely.
How did it happen?
Yeah, where the knife...
You were taking the role of a police officer, really.
I was.
Do you know, you are either very confident in what the future holds for you or mad, one or the other, because I think you should have got out of there.
And you still weren't frightened at any point that he might kick off? Or...
Not with me, no.
This was May Day last year. We're going back a year, and this man's name is Star Randall Hansen.
That's correct, yeah.
And so it ends up he goes to court, the police arrive, and he is convicted of the murder of a Mr. Derek Marney's body. And it was reported that Starr stabbed this man.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. And maybe, I think they attended the same church together as well.
They did.
So maybe the whole Satan thing.
Well, Derek Marley was a medium.
Yeah.
And they lived together. So I think that probably Starr, he'd been to me before, so I know he had a trust with me. And I think he also sensed that I wouldn't panic, that he could tell me.
Did you think he came that day to confess whatever
Yes.
those cards
Yeah,
had been?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He needed somebody to go to be somebody in the middle
Yeah.
to get him to the police. I think he'd been to a police station once and it was closed. And so I don't think he knew anywhere else to go.
Well, amazing story, Jane, and very, very brave, absolutely incredible, fascinating stuff altogether.
Thank you.
I have the gift as well.
I can see that.
But I do have the gift,
Yeah,
I do.
yeah.
I think everybody's very spiritual. I have the gift and I can tell you it's bye to you and here's the competition.
Hello, YouTube. For more of the same, just click here. And don't forget, you can subscribe for even more of these amazing videos exclusive to our channel.
It came about because we sort of saw the sort of costume on the internet, on eBay, and purchased that one. And from there, it sort of became like a sort of an alternative ego, sort of a chance to dress up and role play. You do it as a child, and why
Yeah.
can't we do it as adults, really?